الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Brothers and sisters, I'm not standing here to say that it was sad or it was disastrous, although the death has its musibah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, musibatul maut. But I'm not standing here to say that. I'm actually here to celebrate what happened, to celebrate this end, that this man, he wished to die like this. When he said al-mawtu fi sabilillahi asma amanina, when he said that death on the path of Allah is the best of our wishes, he was not just saying it like that. He meant it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him what he wanted. What happened yesterday is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, al-fawz al-azim. It's the great winning. In Surah Al-Buruj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, it is a great winning for him as a person, for him to die this death, to be selected as a shaheed. It is a great winning, and for the rest of the ummah, it's a winning. When our leaders die like this, it's a winning. When we know that the people that we follow die in this way, we know we are on the right path. We know it's a winning. It's not just for Muslims, it's for the entire humanity. It's a winning. Because these values are being proven by this man's life to be the values of the truth, of justice and freedom. This man has showed us by his own life when he said, when they wanted to arrest him before, he said, the price for this is my own life. He said that, and he repeated, my own life, and repeated, he said, my own personal life. He actually meant it. This man was offered in the beginning to take his family and leave the country. Like other people we hear about, said now there's a coup, we're in charge of the country, take your family, go live in Australia or in Canada or in Turkey or somewhere, enjoy the rest of your life and leave us alone. No, he didn't want to do that. He wanted to stand up to the last moment of his life to tell us, Allahu ghayatuna. It is true. Allah is our aim. وَالرَّسُولُ قُدْوَتُنَا. And Muhammad is our role model. It is true. وَالْجِهَادُ سَبِيلُنَا. And the struggle is our path. It is true. وَالْمَوْتُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَسْمَى أَمَانِينَا. And death on the path of Allah is the best of our wishes. He showed us this by his own life. We struggle sometimes to sacrifice some pounds or sacrifice a few minutes, but when we look at this sacrifice of our leader and our Shaheed, he sacrificed years and years of his life, not just the last 7 years. He's been on this path for a long time, and that was the end he deserved by the will of Allah. We ask Allah to accept him with the Shuhada and the Nabiyyin, and to elevate his rank in Al-Firdaus Al-A'la. Now we are talking here today, but we don't know where he is now. I've seen a photo today that there are police cars surrounding his grave, and the idiots think they are going to arrest him while he's still in his grave. They don't know that the soul, al-ruh, is somewhere else. Al-ruh, as the Rasul goes ila a'la illiyin. Allah said in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, Inna kalla inna kitab al-abrari lafi illiyin. That illiyin, when you talk about that world, is something unimaginable. It's something that these people do not understand. When we talk about al-fawz al-azim, that winning, these ones don't understand that. If they know about it, they wouldn't have done what they did. But they don't understand these values. They don't know about that. My brothers, this man was following the footsteps of Ashab al-Ukhdud, the people of the trench. Allah mentioned their story in Surah Al-Buruj. This man was following Zakaria and Yahya, the prophets. This man was following Sumayya and Yasir. He was following Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. He was following Imam al-Shaheed al-Izz ibn Abdul Salam. And he was following Izz al-Din al-Qassam. And he was following Imam al-Shaheed Hassan al-Banna and Sayyid Qutb and Muhammad Hawash and the Sananiri and others. He was following these people. And now we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to gather them together in the place that they wish to be in. My brothers and sisters, sometimes people ask, what is the point? Why these people do this? Why they end their lives like that without any achievement? And if we look back in history, centuries before this time, even before the time of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the people I mentioned earlier, Ashab al-Ukhdud, when they were burnt alive. Let's imagine those people were brought in front of the trench and they were asked, leave your faith or jump in the fire. They decided to jump in the fire. Someone may think, what is good in this? They would have stayed and maybe it would be better for them to hide their faith and try gradually to change. If they did so, they wouldn't be in the Quran remembered until the end of the time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept the story of these people because these people, they protected the value of the freedom of the soul, the freedom of the heart, the freedom of the faith. They protected that value for us until today. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put their story in Al-Quran to be recited by every single person, and you recite it in the salah and get reward for that. Why? Because those people were willing to die for us to live with value, for us to live with that principle. You can sacrifice your life, but you can never be humiliated. You can sacrifice your life, but your faith is yours. No one has control over your heart. That was their path. And these people died on this path to protect this value. Why these people are being targeted one after the other? Why? These people are being targeted one after the other simply because these people want to establish the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as it came down on Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Mohamed Morsi, he fought in the army. He was an engineering professor. He spoke different languages. He's a hafiz of Quran. He's a worshipper. His family is all huffaz of the Quran. He's a politician. He became a president. This can show us that comprehensive Islam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People like him are to be killed. People like him cannot stay long because tyrants don't like to see them. Tyrants don't want to see someone like him. Him and those who were before him and those who will come after him. And for someone to choose to be on this path, they need to be ready. They need to be ready to face the same fate of Mohamed Morsi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept him. My brothers, as I said before, it's not time to cry and regret and feel sorry. Wallahi, it's time of pride. It's time of pride. Put your heads up. Our leaders are firm, are steadfast, are strong until the last minute of their lives. There are people who are still in prison now in that particular country and in other places who are suffering until today, and they can easily give up and they can easily find excuses to come out of all of that. But these people there are there for us, are there for this humanity, are there for the entire nation, because they believed in something and they said it, and they have to stand up for their words. My brothers and sisters, for us now today, we need to promise ourselves and promise our Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are on the same path. We are on the same path of the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We are following the footsteps of those who went before us and those who are going to come after us. Our Imam recited in Salah, مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ رِجَالٌ صَدَقُوا مَا عَاهَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَيْهِ. From the believers are men who were truthful when they promised Allah. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ قَضَى نَحْبَهُ. Some of them have already fulfilled their term. They were here for some time and they have finished that. They have passed the test. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَنْتَظِرُ. And some of them are waiting. وَمَا بَدَّلُوا تَبْدِيلًا. My brothers and sisters, we must make sure we are of those who are waiting. We are of those who do not change. We are of those who are not shaken when they see different things in front of them. لَا يَغُرَّنَّكَ تَقَلُّبُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فِي الْبِلَادِ. Do not be shaken or deceived by the enjoyment that disbelievers are enjoying in the land. Don't be deceived by that. Be the person of principles, the person who knows where they're standing and where they are going. Be the person who says, Allahu ghayatuna, Allah is my aim. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our Shaheed Mohamed Morsi with the martyrs. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to unite him tonight with the people he loved, the people he saw in his life, and the people he went before his life. Subhanallah, my brothers and sisters, we've been told before about great people in history, people who did sacrifices and so on. But now we can see this in front of our eyes. We saw him when he became a president, and we saw him after that. We noticed and we were hearing about his struggle, and now we've witnessed his death. Something in our eyes, not something that is narrated to us. And this is for a reason. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us that in order to teach us a lesson, or to teach us many lessons. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to be strong and to be willing to sacrifice as much as these people sacrificed, and to accept our dua for our brother and for others. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.